Welcome to another episode of Lightspeed Investing Podcast. I'm so excited to have our esteemed guest, Dr. Noah, back again. In case you missed our previous episodes, Dr. Noah St. John is known as the father of affirmations and the mental health coach to the stars, working with Hollywood celebrities, 7 and 8 figure company CEOs, as well as professional athletes. Dr. Noah is famous for helping people make more in 12 weeks than what they make in the last 12 months while winning their lives back. He is also the author of 24 books, including his new book, The 7-Figure Expert, Your Ultimate Guide to a Life of More Impact, Influence, and Financial Freedom. Now, let's go ahead and give Dr. Noah St. John a very warm welcome.
Well, thanks, Philip. Great to be back with you.
Great to have you here, man. How are you doing today?
I am awesome and very happy to be here back with you.
Absolutely. So, last time we talked about your book around getting rid of your head trash. Today, what I'm curious is, it seems like, look at the shows that you got, right? I'm so fascinated by the amount of authorship that you have and penmanship that you have crafted. Today I'm really excited to learn about your new book. So why don't we go ahead and start, Dr. Noah, what is it that inspired you to actually write a book around building a 7-figure expert business?
Well, this is something that I've been doing for many, many years, personally doing it myself. And of course, teaching my coaching clients to do this, whether one-on-one or group coaching clients. So I figured it was really time to write a book about it. As you can see behind me, these are a few of my 24 books that I've written, along with my books in other languages, 18 languages at last count. And so I realized, I hadn't actually written a book about building an online business, which is, of course, a big, big topic that millions of people all around the world want to know about. How do I make money online? And so it is something that I decided to do because, as you mentioned, in our previous conversation, I was talking about getting rid of your head trash, which is something I've written a lot of books about. But then I realized, what? I really want to combine really how to take out your head trash, how to have these, as I call them, the 7-figure beliefs and 7-figure mindset, along with how to actually build a 7-figure online business. Because as I mentioned, this is something I've been doing myself for over 25 years and helped lots and lots of people to do that. So I figured let's write a book about it and help even more people.
Wow, that's amazing. You're always looking to create that impact and influence, aren't you?
Yes, that's why I do what I do. That's why I started in 1997 in a 300 square foot basement apartment with $800 and a book on HTML. So I had nothing except I had no money, no marketing, no sales, no business experience at all. I just had a deep burning desire to make an impact, to make a difference and really help people all around the world. As Steve Jobs said, as Steve Jobs put it, to put a dent in the universe. So, I made a little dent. So, hoping to keep going with that.
Yeah, I know. I love that. Let's make these dents craters, right? And evolve them into craters. So obviously, getting a bit more context, a 7-figure expert book is geared towards building a successful online business, right?
Yes.
Now, outside of that being the main difference, how does it specifically vary with other books that cover similar topics?
Yeah, you're right. There's tons of books on this topic out there, lots of teachings and online courses and gurus, fake gurus and real gurus out there. So really, one of the things is that it's very hard to know who to trust. That's a big, big thing out there because there's so many, as I just mentioned, fake gurus out there, most of them. And, you just don't know who to trust or who you should really pay attention to, who you should listen to, and frankly, who you should follow for the people who are either just starting out or really maybe you're at that 5-figure, you want to get that 6-figure level, or you're at the 6-figure, you really want to go to that 7-figure level and above, which I've helped people do all of the above. And so one of the things that makes my coaching different and my teachings and trainings different is I take what I like to call an inside out approach. And that means that I teach on inner game and outer game. Now, what that very simply means is inner game is everything that happens between your ears that you can't see directly, but it affects everything that you do. So that is the first 2/5 of the book is really about mastering your inner game. which, as I mentioned, is what I've written lots and lots of books about. So I come from that inner game background, that inner game perspective. And that's one of the things that makes me different, because when you listen to the marketing gurus and all those guys, they're really coming from an outside in approach. All right. And which is where we're talking about the outer game, which is the second 3/5 of my book, The 7-Figure Expert. So the problem is that if you don't come from an inside out approach, it's really like trying to build a house starting on the top floor. You can't do that. And that's what a lot of those gurus are, most of them actually, are saying, well, if you're not making the money that you want in your business, you just need more offers. You need, better funnels. You need more traffic. Well, all of those things may be true, but the fact is that all of that starts on the inside, right? So it's exactly like building a house. You can't build a house unless you first dig the foundation, dig the hole and then pour a foundation. And so what happens is people get really, really distracted by shiny objects, right? Shiny object syndrome, which is a big, big problem for lots of entrepreneurs out there. And so one of the things that I'm really great at is helping people, entrepreneurs, to really, really just focus on one or two or three main things and eliminate all of those outside distractions.
I love that. I love that. And, obviously you kind of touched on these topics here, but I'm kind of curious, right? Because many experts actually struggle with scaling their business. They may be really strong subject matter experts, right? But in terms of business acumen, right, around like the engineering of a successful business, specifically in that regards, what common pitfalls do you actually identify in your book, and how can they be avoided outside of what we just discussed with the inner game and outer game?
Well, it really does come down to that. It comes down to inner game and outer game. So one of the big pitfalls that a lot of entrepreneurs are facing boils down to what I call the income ceiling syndrome. All right, income ceiling, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It means that you're making money. Sure, you're making money, but you just keep hitting your head on that ceiling. Now, that ceiling could be 10,000 a month. It could be 50,000 a month. It could be 100,000 a month. Wherever it is, but you keep hitting that ceiling. Now, let me just give you a quick example of exactly what I'm talking about. So I was speaking at a conference in Los Angeles for about 1,000 entrepreneurs, and these are, 6 and 7 and 8 figure businesses, right? So successful people. And so I was speaking, on my topics, like I was talking about inner game and outer game, everything. Anyway, so I finished my presentation. I was walking off the stage, and a man came up to me out of the audience, and he said, "Noah, I want you to coach me. You are the coach I've been looking for." Now, I didn't know this man from Adam. Ironically, his name was Adam. True story. And so I said, "All right, well, what's going on?" He said, "Noah, I own this company, and we are making 7 figures a year, but we're stuck." He said, "We've been stuck at this same level for the past 4 years." And he said, "I've hired every guru out there, every marketing guy, paid all this money, and we just can't break through this income ceiling." So he said, "As soon as I heard you speak about inner game and outer game and head trash and everything you just said," he said, "I knew that you were the coach I've been looking for." That's one of the reasons that I love coaching high achievers, right? Because they make decisions quickly and friendly. They don't dilly-dally. So he basically hired me on the spot, and I coached him and his team for 18 months. And in that 18 months, his company went from being stuck at 7 figures for the previous 4 years to over 20 million in sales, a 600% increase in less than 18 months. So what does this mean for the people listening? I mean, and why is this story important? The story is important because, you could be hitting your income ceiling at 5 figures, 6 figures, or 7 figures, right? That doesn't really matter. The problem is that if you only are trying to fix the problem using one method, which is usually that outer game, those marketing, like I was just talking about, well, maybe it works, but maybe it won't, right? And there's an old saying that says, to he who is good with a hammer, all the world is a nail. And so those gurus, that's what they do. They have one approach that happened to work for them. But what they don't tell you is there were 67 other things that had to fall in place for that one thing to work. So that's what I do that makes it different. And that's why my approach is different, because it's not one approach. It's making sure it's a holistic approach. And that's how we help people break through their income ceiling.
I love that. And Dr. Noah, I've heard about you talk about this guy named Adam, and it's always inspiring story. Now, specifically to this book, right, the 7-Figure Expert Summit book, the 7-Figure Expert book, it's more geared around building a successful online business, right?
Yep.
So do you by chance have a transformation success story, from someone in the online space that's implemented the strategies outlined in the Seven Figure Expert, and just describe that story, a bit more in depth from the
Yeah.
online side of things?
Wow, I have so many. I mean, if you go to coachingwithnoah.com, literally just coachingwithnoah.com, just like it sounds, you will literally see over 100 case studies. I mean, success stories, plus, endorsements and reviews from the biggest names in the industry like Jenny McCarthy, Gary Vaynerchuk, Stephen Covey, Jack Canfield, John Assaraf, Harv Eker. I mean, the list just goes on and on of people, celebrities, as well, endorsing my work, as well as case studies from real people, just real average people, real stories of real people who got incredible results using my strategies, my formulas. So, my gosh, let's see. Well, one great story comes to mind of an entrepreneur named Tamisa. Now, she is a recovered seminar junkie. That's her description of herself. A recovered seminar junkie, meaning she was going to all these seminars, right? Like a lot of people do, and they're running around and trying to do all these things. Again, trying to break through that income ceiling. Now, she was at six figures, so she was doing well, but still couldn't break through that ceiling, right? Going to seminar after seminar and just kept hitting that ceiling. So a friend actually referred her to me. And, she actually joined one of my coaching programs called the 12-Week Breakthrough, which is where I help people make more in 12 weeks than they did in the previous 12 months while winning their lives back, what you mentioned in the introduction. And so she joined my group coaching program, the 12-Week Breakthrough. And in 2 weeks, she tripled her investment in just 2 weeks of coaching with me. Tripled her investment. Now, we hadn't even got to the money part yet. That's what's incredible about that story. It was just helping her to understand this inside out approach that I was talking about, that her inner game, and no one had ever told her about this before. I mean, literally, after going to all these seminars, no one had ever just shown her these very simple step-by-step fill in the blank processes. Now, keep in mind, it took me over 35 years to master these things, right? So I had to spend over $500,000 of my own money, plus over 35 years of my life that I can't get back, so that's one of the reasons we're able to speed the process so fast. Literally helping people make more in 12 weeks they did in 12 months. And that's one of the reasons we're able to just accelerate their growth and, their income and their revenues so quickly, because I've spent so much time, money, and effort, just an insane amount of years and hundreds of thousands of dollars to master these things so that other people don't have to. So what I always say to my coaching clients, whether it's, one-on-one or group coaching, I always like to say, my pain is your gain. You're welcome.
I love that, man. I love that. And just so the audience, when they listen to this, they have a better understanding. Because when I speak with you, you're always referencing the importance of how head trash is the number one reason that many people feel stuck, right? So when we talk about, whether it be building an online versus a traditional business, do you feel that no matter what modality of business we're engaging in, that the head trash concept is something that we should always address?
There's no question about it. Absolutely. Whether you're trying to build an online business, whether you're doing investing, whether you are in stocks, bonds, real estate, really whatever it is. And why is that true? Well, first of all, we have to answer the question, what is head trash, right? What does this mean? Because this is a phrase I came up with many years ago. I've been teaching it for many, many years. And like I said, written a lot of books about it. So head trash is the voice in your head that says, I can't do it because ... And then you just fill in the blank, right? So for the folks listening to this program, think about your goals. Think about what it is that you want. What are your desires, right? Now, every motivational speaker on the planet talks about that. You got to set your goals and write it down and think positive, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we've heard this a million times, right? But what's interesting is, that they're half right, right? They're half right. Meaning, yeah, we need to set goals. We humans are goal-oriented organisms. We're always thinking about the things that we want, whether it's a new car, a new house, more money, more happiness, or a ham sandwich for lunch. I mean, we're always thinking about what we want, right? And so that part is correct. The problem is what they left out was what most people do is the very next thing after they think about, oh, I want this, the very next thought for most people is, I probably can't do it. Or I probably can't have it. Oh, I don't think I can do it. I'm not good enough. Or whatever that is. What that is what I call your head trash, right? The very, very thing that's holding you back. So if you think about where you are versus where you want to be, what's the gap? Well, the gap, part of it anyway, is your head trash. There's other gaps, but that's the biggest one, because that's why I call it your belief gap. It's a belief gap that says, well, I'm here, I am, but I want to be over there, but I probably can't do it. Oh, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I can't afford it. I don't have the connect, whatever it is. Right. And so many people, most people have this head trash. All right. And so that's why no matter what you were trying to do, right, whether it's build an online business, be successful in investing, do real estate, whatever it might be. And as I mentioned, whether you want to lose weight, you want to be healthy, you want to have a happy relationship, have a happy marriage, all of this is up here, right? It starts up here in the head trash. And all the reasons that you're saying you can't do it, guess what? You're going to make yourself right. All right. So that's one of the reasons why we start. I do anyway. I started with what's going on in there that's telling you can't do it. Like Tamisa, a perfect example, right? She'd been to every seminar out there, going run around, a seminar junkie, as she called it. And there's lots of people like that, but no one had ever just sat down and talked to her and showed her what I'm talking about right now and saying, do you realize that you are literally telling yourself why you can't do it? And then you're going to make yourself right. Just that awareness. And then of course the steps to take out of your head trash. I mean, that's one of the reasons she was able to triple her investment. I mean, and we have this all the time. Stephen is another one of our clients. He increased by 800% in 12 weeks. 800%. I mean, so these numbers sound crazy, right? And you're like, oh, really? Go to coachingwithnoah.com. Watch the videos for yourself. These are real people, real stories. I can't make this stuff up, and I don't need to because I've been doing this for a very long time.
I love it. Coachingwithnoah.com for reference points and validity of how real Dr. Noah is. Now, Dr. Noah, if people are compelled by this conversation and the podcast interview, can they get their hands on your new book, The 7-Figure Expert?
Yeah, well, what's great is we actually have a special going on right now, and you can get this book. It's called The 7-Figure Expert. You see it right there. Your ultimate guide to a life of more impact, influence, and financial freedom. And the book is free. All right. So I have covered the cost of the book, and we just ask you to cover the shipping. All right. So the book is free. Just cover the shipping anywhere on planet Earth. All you have to do is go to 7figureexpertbook.com. Very easy to remember. 7figureexpertbook.com. And you can write the number 7 or the word 7. They both go to the same place. 7figureexpertbook.com. The book is free. Just cover the shipping. And really, we've gotten a lot of really, really nice 5-star reviews. You can see the reviews on Amazon, but that's where the book is. Again, of course, on Amazon, you're going to pay for the book plus shipping, but 7figureexpertbook.com.
Wow. So generous, so kind. And I'm certainly going to be one of the participants who take you up on that offer. Dr. Noah, it is always a pleasure having you on our podcast. Do you have any concluding comments, remarks for the listeners out there who's trying to better their lives?
Focus on your inner game first. If you feel stuck, if you're hitting that income ceiling, no matter what you're doing, whether it's building your online business, building an offline business, whether you're investing or real estate or whatever it is you're trying to do, focus on your inner game, especially if you've already spent lots of time, money, and effort trying to break through that income ceiling. A lot of people hire me for coaching, whether it's in one-on-one or group coaching, after they've tried everything else, or so they think. They tried so many things. And so what a lot of people have said about my programs is they're the last personal and business development program you'll ever need. So you can check us out. You can go to coachingwithnoah.com, 7figureexpertbook.com, or just Google me, Noah St. John, and you'll find out. And we'd love to help you reach your goals faster and easier.
Absolutely. And Dr. Noah is certainly a resource you want to have on your side. Again, thank you so much by gracing us with your presence and taking the time out of your busy schedule to meet. Thank you, and I hope you have a fantastic day.
See ya.